It's the kid. 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 I still have the pen right here. What the hell? Why is this thing playing? Boom! I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm breathing. We are here yet again for another football dugout. Just a little caveat. I don't make these topics. They're done as a group. So if some of these topics are crazy, blame either Devil or Nix. They're the ones that come up with the topics. I just play along. So don't blame me, because trust me, I wouldn't pick any of these crazy topics. But Nix isn't here. He's currently on a holiday because he doesn't work hard. All he does is vacation all the time. So he's not a really hard worker. Hope you're enjoying yourself. Bring me back something from Trinidad and Tobago. But we have a great guest, an amazing guest, a quality guest, a man of few words, but who is known amongst the globe. He's the famous person who they say is the fifth most famous person on the planet. Ramon Bone Alone, Post Malone, Bugsy Malone.
I'm here. This is it. I'm back. I'm here. First time in the dugout.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna school you guys tonight.
Hey, easy. I'm down the guy that is cool. Obviously, we've got our main man here, Devil, as usual, holding it down.
In the house.
Yeah. So look, man, we have a great show for you. So as you well know, we always do a Twitter poll. So the Twitter poll that we have done is, remember guys, I didn't come up with this poll. This was done as a group. I actually feel sick even saying this. Is Roberto Firmino currently the best Brazilian footballer in the world? Yeah. So go onto my Twitter page, Half a Pot, vote on the poll. The polling will close in half an hour. And once we get the results of that, we'll then look at the results of the poll and we'll get into detail about the discussion, which I just think is completely and utterly insane. So that's what's going on. So on the show, we're going to review the weekend's action. Pep Guardiola, Fraudiola. He says easy. Don't go there. So we'll talk about Italy, about Inter's perfect record. We'll talk about Emery, because why was Wenger trending after the Arsenal was for the game? I'm going to ask about that. Why was Allegri and Wenger trending? But we'll ask about that. And then obviously we'll then look ahead towards the Champions League. It's of course Champions League week, and
Europa League, more importantly,
of course.
And it's
Thursday,
and it's that the Thursday Cup as well. The Thursday Cup then coming through. So remember, guys, if you want to call in, if it's no, you want to call in, the number is in the description box below. Call in, ask all of us a question. The number is in the description box below, and also Discord. Follow us on Discord. Again, the link is below for the Discord where you can relate to us, talk to us, and we'll try and be in there so you can interact with us on the Discord group. So, before we really go into the main topics, let's just deal with the breaking news that's happened. David De Gea has signed a contract extension for Man United, and
money.
I've got so basically,
money.
Before I ride, because it's there, but before I ride towards you guys, my mind on that. 100% money. Mm-hmm. Because United are a team where they can be so mediocre but still offer crazy deals. I do feel that for De Gea, his stock has declined. So De Gea isn't really as the pick that he once was. Because I think that whole I'm going to play for Real Madrid, that ship has now sailed. So I think for De Gea is you know what? Let me get paid. Let me have good security. I'm loved here at United. Yeah. Let me just stay here, remain here. So what do you think? So what is your main reaction when you're looking at this deal? So I think it's up till 2023 the deal is. So what is
How old is he? 28. 28. Mm-hmm. So so he could still get a move technically. His stock has fallen. Also, you have to look at the options to him. Where could he really go? That's going to really be an upgrade of where he is at the moment. I mean, you're talking Real Madrid. They've invested in Courtois, they've got Areola. Are they willing to push the boat and get him? There's talk about Juventus, but then, they've got Szczesny and who's the other one they signed? Obviously, it's a Perry.
Buffon.
They've got Buffon back. But, are they going to want to go and spend big money on De Gea? I don't think there's much options, many places for him to go right now. So he probably made the right call in doing that because he's getting paid. I wonder if there's any clauses in that contract though. I wonder if there's any clause where he's got maybe if a certain valuation is met, I want to be allowed to talk to certain clubs. Those kind of things. I wouldn't be surprised if something like that's in there. But I think his stock has plummeted. But maybe we'll see now this is sorted out. will he return to some sort of form? Because this has been hanging over him for a while, hasn't it?
No. For me, I think he's personally for me. I think his past is peak. 28 is still young for a keeper.
Very young for a keeper.
Very young, but I think he was arguably he was never the best keeper in the world. That was all false news. He was
What? Of course he was.
He was never at any point. That was just false news, fake news pushed by people. Top 3 years.
Maybe it's a wig thing. No. It's a weak thing. It doesn't make you think everything's fake.
Okay, people, guys in the live chats, was David De Gea ever at any point the best keeper in the world? At any point, don't be Premier League mentions in the world. Was he ever the best, categorically the best keeper in the world? Ramon, thoughts on this?
So, if I'm honest with you, my first initial thought was lack of ambition. Lack of ambition. The reason I say that, Manchester United aren't going anywhere anytime soon.
No.
Like, okay, they may get a Champions League football next season if they play to their utmost best. But with the squad that they have, that's a push. They're riding the Europa wave at the moment, and they're not looking like getting another title. They're not looking like winning the Champions League. I don't think he's the best goalkeeper in the world right now. I think there was a time that he was. I do think there was a time, and I was the most. Nah. He's not for a long while. But I'd probably say last year before the mistakes happened. I probably got to a stage where I was like, all right, fair enough. You've done your thing. Probably post World Cup or whatever. I know he made mistakes there, but I probably said that he was probably the best, and then he sort of took the slide down. But I saw it as, what do you want? Like you longed at this contract situation for about a year and a half. For what? For what reason? Like to try and get. I mean, but
he was thinking that he was maybe going to get the move.
Yeah, but unless the club didn't come in for him. For me, you're naming all of these clubs. He will get in Juventus squad cash over Szczesny. Like, maybe they didn't come in for him, but most of these goalkeepers, he will get in above them. He will get in above the PSGs.
He would. But are they willing to pay the money to get him? And that's the problem.
Because United are going to ask for at least 90 or 95.
I don't think they're willing to spend
you can't pay 90 for thinking. But let's move on to our main thing. That was just like a quick breaking news. So let's get right into it now. The weekend review. Look, the biggest result of the weekend was your boy Fraudiola, who, by admitting that he's called Fraudiola, he looks onto football Twitter is powerful.
Yeah,
that means he reads football Twitter. So my thing is that look, so they lost the game. De Bruyne was benched to begin with, and this also makes me think of the first leg against Tottenham in the Champions League, where Pep, he's going for all 4 trophies. So it's like, okay, look, we have a Champions League game here. Let me rest him because blah blah blah. But my thing is that look, well done for Norwich, superb. I think it's 11 players that they had missing.
I don't know if it was 11. Was it 11? I thought it was 8.
I saw it. I read 11.
I mean, people did play that we thought might not play, so it kind of put numbers down.
So again, my thought is that look, I mean, it's too early. We'll get things out, but right now they're now 5 points behind. So with this kind of loss that they now have, do you see the Laporte injury really becoming a hindrance long term? Do you think that the whole Jones and do you think the whole Otamendi and Stones thing can really be something that people can actually really try and get through, or do you feel Pep Guardiola will just say, you know what, let's just keep possession for like 90% of the game and restrict the amount of defending that we have to?
So you say that, but then when you look at the goals that Norwich scored, Man City were in possession. Otamendi gave it away. That was one of them, at least. I think, and I sat here and I said, the Laporte injury, for me, and this goes back, Devon knows, volume 82, Laporte's injury makes Liverpool favourites. And I stand by that, because Laporte was the rock for Man City. Everyone talks about how great a season Van Dijk had, which he did. Laporte wasn't too far behind.
Laporte was quality. Laporte was quality. Very underrated.
And I think him being out the side and them not replacing Kompany, that's massive blow, because Otamendi is, he's liable to mistakes. John Stones is not. He hasn't grown into the defender he's supposed to be. He still looks a bit jittery. I think both of them need a composed defender next to him. Next to each other, it's just like you don't know what's going to happen. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's a massive blow that Laporte's out for 6 months. Is Fernandinho injured as well? Because I think
he's back now.
I think he would be better next to Stones or maybe. Do you know what I mean? Just to kind of have that composed.
But before I even get to Ramon, so do you think that most likely he's going to buy in January? So do you think that too much damage will be done from now till the January transfer window.
Yeah. Because Liverpool don't have no signs of slowing down.
Well, Pep said,
Do you know what I mean?
didn't he say in an interview, don't worry, I'm not coming for your, don't worry, big club, I'm not coming for your defenders.
Lies.
Lies. Lies.
Also, he's going to be like, because just before I go to Roman, so even just to address this to you right now, because I said, you know what, let's see how good of a manager you are. Don't buy any defenders in January. See how well you can manage this situation of having Laporte injured. So we all know about how great a manager is. So do you think that Pep can somehow, with the squad he has, be able to manage City to still be competitive with Liverpool with Laporte being injured for this?
But I think that makes him a bad manager. If you know you have a weakness and you don't sort it out, that means you're a bad manager. Yeah, go and sign a defender because that's what your team needs. Surely. Why would you just sit there and go, right, let me prove to the world how good a manager I am by leaving this massive gaping hole in my defence?
Do you know their squad is worth 1 billion?
Yeah, I know.
The case is that you should have thought of this before. Now, why did you buy Otamendi? Why did you buy Stones?
Well, Otamendi was supposed to go next to someone else. Stones was supposed to be the next
Stones is
big
supposed
thing,
to be
but
the next John
it never
Terry,
happened.
bro.
It
He's
just
the
didn't
next
happen.
John Terry.
That's it.
I'm still waiting, but he's the next John Terry in waiting.
So how? What are you? City. I mean, how bad is the result? How much do you think the Laporte injury is?
Do you know what? The Laporte injury is big, but the big issue is replacing Big Vince. And I'm a huge advocate of Big Vince, as the Nick Sports viewers will know. I'm a company in all day, and and when he came back, and this is what people didn't believe me, but when he came back from injury, they were another side. They just took another level, and every time he came back, he was getting in the team. Now, if a man who is 34 years old, when he comes back from injury, automatically goes in above Stones and Otamendi into your team, has left the club, which is therefore you're saying is my first choice centre back is left. You're either saying Stones and Otamendi is going to become my first choice centre back, and at the moment in time, they're probably not good enough to hold down the whole season with Laporte anyway. It will be risky. They maybe could do it. They may be risky. Then you've got to say let's replace him, and they went in for Maguire half-heartedly. But when it really came down to the crunch time, they wouldn't want to put up 80 mil. There's other defenders out there, but they just didn't look like they were on anyone else. They thought, all right, we got Laporte and Stones, we're good.
I mean, but again, and I think this sort of is a nice segue into.
Well, I was going to say, because I could walk Mustafi there.
No.
I will hold his hand and walk him all the way to Manchester.
But I think that's okay, a nice segue into.
And I'll give them £250.
Because I believe that right now, we are now living in a world where like defenders are now, we're now beginning to see the importance of defenders. We're now seeing for Van Dijk how important he is, how important Laporte is to Man City. I released a video some months ago. I was trying to be friendly. I'm not one of these guys who are like, oh, let's hate Arsenal, like Chelsea. No. I was trying to say, Arsenal. A lot of friends I have are Arsenal fans. Some of my good friends are Arsenal fans. So I was like, Arsenal fans, I'm trying to be friendly. I said that David Luiz is a very talented football player. He's a crap defender. I think he's been sold a done. And guys said, oh man, you're just so happy because we got one from your rival, blah, blah. I think it's what? So 2 penalties given away in 4 Premier League games? But my thing is this, is that I'm not really even looking at David Luiz right now. Because for me, like, when I watched the game, the second half by Watford was amazing. You could argue that Kike Flores coming back, he really was able to elevate the team. So let's get to the crux of this matter right now. Emery, is it already time to be like, okay, earlier on in your second season, I don't think this guy is the long-term solution for Arsenal? Or is it a case of, you know what, let's see how the second season pans out and let's just see what he can do in the second season? Because when I saw, after the game, I saw Wenger trending, I saw Allegri trending, and there just seems to be a very kind of emotional reaction after this game in particular, which was still, it felt like a loss, but it was a draw. So, in your view, so let me start with Ramon. Do you feel, what is your take on Emery right now? Do you still see, give him time, he can take Arsenal to the next level if you give him some time, or are you already a bit worried as a because those substitutions are some of the worst substitutions I've seen made recently.
The thing with Emery, I think your point was right when you first said, is he the long-term option for Arsenal? I don't think he's the long-term option. I don't think he's the next Arsene Wenger, for example. He's not gonna. I don't think he will stand the test of time. But I'm a man who said let's at least give him 3 transfer windows. He's now had, well, you can't really call January on the transfer window really because he got told to bring in one loan guy. But I mean, he's had two. He's had two now. He did. But I mean, it's hard when you have to have one loan deal. So I'm still going to give him a bit of time just to embed his squad. It took Klopp a little time to settle in. It took Pep a season to settle in. But then you could sort of see an improvement. Now, the problem we had yesterday, and which we're going to have towards the end of the season, is we wanted all of these men to go, but we now realise that our squad is a bit thin. Our squad looks a bit thin, and I'm looking on the bench, I see Saka, I see Nelson, I see Willock, and I see Chambers, Martinelli, and Torreira. And you're saying he didn't. Maybe he brought off the wrong players, but bring him on. I'm not really looking at them man to change the game, really. Like, even Torreira is probably the best man on there, and he's not going to come on to change the game. So, like, did we limit ourselves by just shipping out everyone, Iwobi, Welbeck, Mickey, just because they weren't good enough at the time? But really, could have done with someone coming off the bench to squad depth, and it's important. I mean, Liverpool get away with it because they tend to manage through their squad, their first team 11 quite well. But the majority of the other teams have something. Even Man United, they've got a depth of players that all of a sudden you look at the team sheet and you think, you know what, they're alright. They might be alright to see through the games. But Arsenal, I'm looking at the team, I'm thinking, if this first 11 don't bang at the start of the game, come 60, 70 minutes, who's going to come on to really change the game?
Alright, so do you feel that, just from the point of Ramon Baker, that he made a bad call in letting players like Iwobi, Mkhitaryan go and not really building a squad to fall back on?
They should, firstly, the club don't think Emery's a long-term manager. That's why they gave him 2 years. You remember, he's out of contract in the summer. He got 2 seasons.
Yeah.
That's it. How is that a long-term thing? He was like, we're not sure about you. We're going to give you 2 years. See what you're doing. Do you know what I mean? So from the top,
but if you prove yourself,
yeah, exactly. But from the top, they're unsure of him. From the top, they weren't sure. All right. Secondly, he's had 3 transfer windows. Yes, the January one was a little bit work. This third one, the whole club was a bit, because they were trying to get rid of a man like Mustafi, trying to get rid of Mkhitaryan. They were trying reportedly to get rid of Ozil, couldn't get rid of him. The reason we sold Iwobi is because we needed funds because we spent all that money on Pepe. So we sold Iwobi because we couldn't sell Mkhitaryan. Do you understand what I mean? So we sold players we didn't really want to sell because we couldn't ship the players we wanted to ship. I think players like Nelson are ready. I think he should be playing games, especially now that Lacazette was injured. We didn't need to change the shape against Watford. We could have gone with the wingers, played Pepe one side, Nelson on the other, Aubameyang through the middle, Ceballos or Ozil behind, and we could have gone at Watford in a shape and a system that we're used to. He's changed the system. This is something that I don't like about Emery. Changes things too much. Apparently the players are confused as to what they're supposed to be doing. You can see that on the pitch. And there's no day on earth where we should start any game without Torreira in the midfield.
Yeah,
it makes no sense.
Agreed.
So why would you not play Torreira?
So let me, because now this is something that I need to know from Arsenal fans. What is this obsession with Xhaka? Because do you know what worries me is that when, arguably, in my view, your worst player is your captain, that's really problematic. Because my thing about Xhaka is that I've been watching him because I watch him for Switzerland. I've been watching through Arsenal. Say, wait a minute. Sometimes he'll do like a long range shot, tackles here. But I feel like, what does he really contribute to the team? Because the role that he plays, you're like the metronome of the team. Like a Fernandinho, a Busquets, a Rodri. You're the guy where you're like that sponge, whatever, that ball comes to. So why do you think that Emery still persists with Xhaka?
This is another thing that don't make sense. The only time Xhaka's looked good in an Arsenal shirt is next to Torreira.
Yeah.
That's the only time he's looked good. So why would you play him without Torreira? It makes no sense. And just to add another thing before you go, I just want to say this isn't an excuse, but how many other teams in the top 6? Because remember, we've played this whole season so far with a reserve back line. Both our fullbacks are out. I know Tierney hasn't played for us yet, but he's clearly first choice. Holding arguably is a first choice centre back. I think he should be first choice anyway. So we're playing with a back 4 where 3 of them could possibly come out when everyone's fit. So I'm not saying that as an excuse because Emery has been proven to be a terrible defensive manager. Everywhere he's been, his defence has been rubbish. He's never been at a team and had a good defensive record. So why we thought he could fix our defence? Never. But we've got the best attacking options we've had for God knows how long. He doesn't know how to use them.
So just round off, Rob.
Yeah. So the thing is with Xhaka, and like I said, I was actually quite a big fan of Xhaka, and I thought bringing
fan.
Let me land. Let me land. I thought bringing Torreira in would get the best out of Xhaka, and I genuinely believe that probably the first 6 months of last season were probably the best time we've seen as Xhaka. And why? Torreira was probably the best DM in the league in the first 6 months of the season, and he played so well next to Xhaka. It brought out the best in him, and no one was getting onto Xhaka at the first 6 months of last season. The last 6 months, he started giving away more penalties and being a bit more stupid. Then it started to occur, but then Torreira wasn't playing very well. He was getting dropped for Guendouzi, and it seemed like things weren't working very well. I said give him a year, get him see how he is with Torreira. It's now becoming the Xhaka and Guendouzi show, and Guendouzi had his best game for Arsenal against Tottenham. He had his best game I've ever seen him play for Arsenal. The problem is that now means he's guaranteed 3 games in the centre of midfield. Yeah. And I don't think that should be the case, because our best midfielder is Torreira. Like, he is our best midfielder, and he should be first in the team sheet, and it should be Xhaka or Guendouzi, and then a Ceballos or an Ozil. Yeah. And what you said was right. We played 4-2-3-1 for the majority of the pre-season. Now, unfortunately, Ozil had the little... Off pitch
a little top
problems, and it kind of meant that we couldn't start with him and go with a 4-2-3-1 from the start. But we haven't played 4-4-2 diamond the whole of pre-season. We've now played 2 games in a 4-4-2 diamond, and everyone's a bit like, why? You haven't started like that, so why are you going like that? For me, this just makes no sense.
No, and I think just to end on this is like, I don't understand how you don't have a formation that everybody can be used to and they go to. Because the worst thing for a player is that I'm playing in the middle one time, I'm playing wide right one time, I'm playing... It just messes with your mind and you don't really get a rhythm, which is crazy.
100%.
Alright, so let's just go around Europe and everything. So, Red Bull Leipzig, Bayern Munich, held to a draw. For me, it seems as if Bayern pretty much are always going to win the league every single season. And it's always Bayern or Dortmund. Dortmund should have won it last season, but they didn't. Is there any scenario, because Leipzig look really good. Nagelsmann is one of the best young managers out there.
Yeah. So
do you think that somehow Bayern Munich, they didn't really buy too well this summer? They both right, but they didn't really buy, apart from Coutinho, they didn't really buy any major players. I don't call Coutinho a major player.
No, but I think Hernandez is...
not sexy enough. But Dortmund
does the job.
But very well. Dortmund very well. But do you still feel that Leipzig could potentially break the duopoly of Dortmund and Bayern?
Yeah, I think it was only 2 seasons ago Leipzig finished second. So I think I wouldn't say they win the league, but Leipzig are a strong team. They've kept a lot of their young players. They've got a very obvious football philosophy, which Nagelsmann fits. So I think that's a perfect marriage between the two. And Werner's on form. As long as they've got Werner banging goals, they've got Forsberg back playing fit, who looked a very good player 2 years ago. I mean, everyone's talking about Upamecano and how great he is. He can't even get in the team at the moment.
Wow.
He's on the bench.
Yeah.
So they've got a strong squad there. And I do think they play lovely football. Are they strong enough to pip Dortmund to second? I don't know, because Dortmund have got a lot of firepower.
Yeah.
A lot. But they're a very good side. I think there'll be a lot of people will be surprised by them in the Champions League as well.
Yeah. I mean, you say pip Dortmund to second, but I mean, Nick's on the belief that Dortmund's going to win the league. But I think, I think Bayern didn't necessarily buy well, but I feel they bought enough to win the league. If you're talking about Champions League, that's just another there. Yeah. But they may have just bought enough to guarantee the league for another year. Like I said, Coutinho will slip in, Perisic will do his thing, and you said the Pavard and Hernandez will just solid up around. It may release Kimmich to play a bit more advanced in the midfield. So I feel like they've done enough. And obviously my brother Serge Gnabry, who should never be there, but he is there, and he's just. I think him and Coman now have the time to step up.
Coman is trash. Coman is trash.
No, I'm saying it's now time for you to tell me that you're not. You know what I mean? He played. I saw him for France. He was brilliant in the France game. But
against who?
Albania, yeah.
Albania. Okay.
But I agree with you. I don't think he's at the level. But it's now time for you to show me that you are. Ribery's gone. Robben's gone. You got no excuse now. You should be getting in that team ahead of Perisic. Really, you're at that age now where you should be saying, "I'm starting. Me and Gnabry, one wing, me another wing. We should be dominating. We should be beating Leipzig." Oh. And the other thing is, Lewandowski's up top, so he'll
Yeah,
bang 30 goals. That's it.
Banging.
All right, so okay, so
amount of goals already.
so looking at Spain right now. So everyone was like, Atletico, this is their year. João Felix, blah blah. Then they go and lose 2-0 to Real. So
Man, like Nacho on the goal on the score sheet.
Man,
Nacho Monreal, legend.
Man, like.
Yeah.
I thought it was the other Nacho. My God, wow. Okay, so do you think that we should now call this talk about Atletico winning La Liga and it's now back between Barcelona or Real Madrid, or just a slight slip?
I still think they can get there. I still think they can get all the way. I've not seen Barcelona this season and thought to myself, they look like the Barcelona.
But Messi hasn't played.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. You know, they shouldn't be allowed to play him.
Yeah.
I think they should.
Then no. Then you have a great title race.
See if he is actually of this earth, and then say, you know what, you can't play on account that you're not human. It's unfair.
No. Then we'll actually have, because once Messi returns, it's alien warfare.
Yeah.
So
but no, I think Atletico. I like what Diego Simeone's doing there. He's trying to change the image of the club with the philosophy and stuff like that. They got some very good players there, and they got a much larger squad than what they usually have. Yeah. And hopefully, you know, for them,
it doesn't always go to your benefit when you have that, because sometimes you get too many players wanting to start games, too many players thinking they deserve to start games, and then when they do, it just falls flat in the face. I generally don't think we'll see a change in Atletico. I think that the style may be different, but I think the ending result is still going to be we're just not strong enough.
No.
I think Atletico's place on getting second just depends on Real Madrid's form throughout the season. Real Madrid could challenge Barca for the title, or they could challenge Atletico for third place. Like, it depends on how they go throughout the season. And as you said, Messi, well, we ain't seen him yet.
So just very briefly now, in Italy, Inter Milan 100% record, Juventus drew. Could because you know
Conte's first season, man.
If Juventus win, it's 9 in a row.
Yeah.
And I mean 9 as in consecutive, as in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 6, 9.
Yeah.
So do you think that, because for me, I don't think Napoli have it, do you think that Conte could potentially come in and actually break Juventus' streak?
Well, his first season, he generally does very well wherever he goes, doesn't he? It would be, they've got a good team there. I forgot they had Barrea in the middle. Nicola Barrea.
Sensi.
Very good player.
People are talking about Sensi.
Yeah, and then Lukaku will score goals. I imagine once Sanchez is fit, he'll bang. So you never know, but they got the consistency to see off a Juventus. I don't know about that. I don't know. It's tough to put anyone ahead of Juve, but don't Napoli, Ancelotti. You never know.
No.
You never know. They've got a nice team there.
Lozano looks great.
Yeah, another one we let slip through. We could sign him for 30 mil. But, all right, whatever.
We got Pepe. We got Pepe from Napoli in it. So
70 mil though.
They didn't get him in it. They didn't get him. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, Inter. It's going to be tough, man, because it's a long season, isn't it? And it's easy to look at the first 3 games and say, yeah, you've done well so far. But Conte is a man like that, you know. He's a man. As you will well know, he's a man that will take things and believe that he can do the unthinkable. When he was Chelsea manager, people didn't think he was going to win the league. You know, we didn't think that he was going to come and transform the Chelsea team. They started bad. He changed the 5 at the back and they won the league. So he will believe in himself that he can do it. I just don't think. I just keep looking at that Juve bench and thinking they'll probably get on Inter's team. They'll probably get in Inter's team. Their whole bench will get in Inter's team starting lineup. So I just think.
But I'm looking at
numbers. I'm looking at players individually, or am I looking at a team? Because I don't. Higuain, he's now all of a sudden they're number 1. He was they shipped him out last year, and I don't understand that bit. But
he's obviously got a relationship with Sarri and he trusts him, so maybe that means something. But it's going to come down to how many games does Ramsey play. If Ramsey plays the whole heap games, they win the league and the Champions League, because that's how good he is.
No. He didn't play.
Rambo didn't play, they drew. I'm telling you, Rambo plays, they win every game.
No.
You heard it here first.
Tier 3. Now, oh God. So the main flipping this discussion of this whole thing.
I didn't want to bring this up, but it's been said and I can't ignore it. So please.
I mean, these dudes, man. Okay. So apparently, we have been looking through Twitter and everything, and this thing just popped off. He had a very good game against Newcastle. I was like, wow, that's a great pass. I was going to sleep, eat my Wheatos and everything, and that's why I said, let me just look at Twitter. I just say, yeah, Liverpool won. Then I'm saying Firmino's, he's good. Had an amazing game. Pass. the best Brazilian. What? So we put out a poll, and the poll was: is Firmino the best Brazilian footballer currently? So 5% picked who?
Yeah, that's a bit disrespectful, to be fair.
No, it's not actually. I mean, it's right there. 24% said yes. 24% of you are stupid. That's what people are. 20% are thick. 27% said one of. And a whopping 44% said no. So let me just start off with this right now. As long as Neymar is breathing, no Brazilian currently is touching Neymar. I don't care whether Marcelo is still not yet on form. Neymar and Marcelo will all. You just have to accept that Neymar and Marcelo will always be better than every other Brazilian playing currently right now. I'm happy to say Firmino is perhaps third. Although, you guys saying this, do you watch Arthur for Barcelona? Arthur is a bona fide starter for Barcelona, and Arthur is one of Barcelona's key players. I'm not sure whether I put Firmino ahead of Arthur. And Lucas Moura just doesn't play in enough games. See,
you lost me there. You lost
Let me land this toy engine. So I'm a fan of Gabriel Jesus, but on form, okay, maybe I'll put him ahead. So if I'm going to rank Firmino out of the Brazilians, Neymar number 1. Marcelo number 2, Arthur 3, Firmino 4. And that's pretty good. So I'll put him 4th.
Yeah. Yes. See, the thing about this is because even Thierry Henry come out with a quote saying he's the most complete striker in the league, which I think probably set a lot of people off. But it's not. I just want to say it's not just Liverpool fans who are saying he's the best Brazilian. I don't want it to seem like it's Liverpool bashing. It's not just Liverpool fans. No. There's other people, such pundits, who are even saying it, and it's not just for
crazy pundits.
It's just at the moment football fans and pundits are very reactionary. Carragher said the other day that Sterling is better than Neymar. It's like what world are you living in? Like, why are we doing this? Because he said, I know Sterling's been brilliant for 2.5 seasons, but Neymar is elite. Do you know what I mean? It literally goes Messi, Ronaldo, Neymar. That's generally how it goes.
People were comparing Sterling to Neymar.
Carragher said Sterling is now better than Neymar.
Bloody hell.
Do you know what I mean? But to go back to the topic of Firmino's best, I just want to say this: Liverpool fans, literally, a month ago, Alisson should have got the Ballon d'Or. Alisson was the best player in the world. Now, Firmino's the best Brazilian in the world. It doesn't add up. Doesn't make sense. Even Alisson, you have a Brazilian in your team who's better than Firmino, according to yourself.
But guys, can you remember, what did Neymar do in the last game? In the 91st minute against Strasbourg?
Yeah, but then at the same time, you're going to say it's Strasbourg. If Firmino... No. But according to your logic, if Firmino did that against Strasbourg, it'd be like, yeah, but Strasbourg.
Firmino isn't scoring a goal. That's something like he's not scoring. Firmino is never scoring a goal like that. So,
Firmino, he's not the best Brazilian currently. I think that's standard. As I said, whilst Neymar is still breathing, when Neymar had his injury last year, he was still the best Brazilian in the world. He was. No, he was. And how can we even say that he's the best Brazilian when the last World Cup, he wasn't even in the starting lineup at the start of the tournament. Gabriel Jesus was there ahead of him. The miss, the flop. I don't know why he's there, but the manager chose him. And at that time, there wasn't an uproar with Brazil because Brazil love Jesus. They love him. So even the Brazilians weren't bothered. And if you ask the Brazilians, is he the best midfield, best player in the squad? No way. They won't have it because. But I see that maybe he's the best player in his position.
Yeah.
I just don't know who else plays in his position because he plays the false 9, which is a difficult position to play. It's not everyone can do it, but he does it so well. And you know what it is? With Firmino, the way he plays helps Salah and Mane so much, and because Salah and Mane are so sick, it makes him look even better. If Salah and Mane weren't as good, he wouldn't look as good. But as a unit, they play so well. When he plays for Brazil, that bond with with Neymar and Jesus or whoever is
or
Costa,
Richarlison and
Everton, it just doesn't. It's not the same. And half the time he comes off after 60 minutes. You won't even know he's playing. And you have that sometimes in Liverpool, but the majority of the time because it clicks and it works, and when he comes on, but it's all right because Origi comes off and he comes on. And
so would you say he's a system merchant then?
That was where I was about to go.
Yeah, is that like cool?
No, but see, I don't want to go into system match because I think that would just be a bit too rude, and Liverpool fans will start getting their pitch fucks for me. But my thing is about this is that if you are an amazing player, I should be able to put you in any system, any amongst the players, and you should be able to, as an individual, still stand out. The thing with Firmino is that he is great for what Klopp wants, and he's great in that situation and in that environment for Liverpool, and he's very vital. But for me, I can't. If you put Firmino in Real Madrid or in Juventus or at Inter Milan, is he going to stand out? No, he's not. No. Because he's not an amazing individual in and of himself where he can just be able to affect the game. He can only affect the game based in that Liverpool system scenario. And the point you made is that what has he ever really done amazing for Brazil? Has he ever really... I mean, I think he did like one nice assist in the Copa America final. And really, I mean, that was it. So, I don't want to say system merchants, but I do feel like if he is pretty much reliant on the system. And another very key point they made. Yeah, he's the best player in his position. How many people play this position? Now, Messi now plays a lot deeper. If Messi wants to rub in the false line, nobody is sniffing Messi when he plays false line. But just that, most like Klopp's system and way of attacking, not many other guys attack that way. Maybe Lucien, even Dortmund, Alcatel is just a striker. He doesn't play the false line the way that I think he does. So not many players play the false line role. So,
and I suppose, and it's another thing where it comes down to, can we just put him in that thing by himself, or do we say he's a striker? He plays as a nine.
He has to get compared to.
He has to get compared to other strikers.
You have to.
You have to, because we're not just gonna be like.
That's what I did with the Benzema.
But it's either we're comparing him as a striker or we're comparing him with a cam. You know, number 10. So then you're getting compared with people like Kevin De Bruyne, and you're not better than Kevin De Bruyne. So, but where, you know what I mean? Where are we going with this? And if you are putting him in a striker bracket, he isn't the best striker in the world.
Of course he isn't.
He's not touching them.
You have to score goals.
Yes, but he's had the most shots on goal this season before the Newcastle game. But he still wasn't top of the goal scoring charts. Does that mean he's not clinical enough?
Aguero is banged like every 51 minutes. His goal scoring rate this season is 51 minutes per goal.
No, and also listen, I bring up the Benzema point because I threw shit at Benzema for like, man, you're a striker and you don't even score goals. But my defense said no. A lot of the goals that Cristiano gets is the work that Benzema does because Benzema's not playing the force to facilitate him. So, if I'm praising Firmino, I should really praise Benzema. But in my things that look, it works for their system. But as you said, you're a striker. You should be getting those goals. But obviously, based on this system, I think football tactics, they evolve. And we're just in an evolution where like, okay, striker isn't in the whole black and white two-dimensional thing that we knew back in the 90s. The roles evolve. But I just feel that, look, man, but even to the point of, pundits being very reactionary. Now, do they do this because they truly believe this, or do they do this because they want to create this?
I sometimes believe it is this. I think Twitter has changed football punditry even at the highest level.
Clicks,
I think they now
retweets.
do things knowing that Twitter's going to love this, they're going to blow this as well. You know what I mean? I think they say and do things.
Don't take the baits. Don't take the baits.
I saw an interview with Gary Neville at the start of the season, and he said, me and Carragher have a conversation throughout the day on a Monday before Monday Night Football, and we discuss things. And he says there's certain things I say which I don't say to Carragher at the time because I know if I say it now, it's not. He knows I'm coming for him with that. If I hold it back and I say it on the show, we're gonna fight. I mean, we're gonna get more views. Sky gonna love us more. They'll get paid more because end of the day they're trying to make sure that no one replaces them. So they've got a job to keep. So it's always trying to create the biggest noise. Don't think that Graham Smith ain't sitting there making comments knowing that people ain't talking about him. He knows that. Just because he's not having an argument about it, he could throw them out and say, you know what, you lot chill on that. You lot call me whatever you want because you're keeping me in the job. Because while you lot talking about me, clicks are going up, sky's going up. People are talking about Graham Smith. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like, you're right. People they're trying to cause a storm. Anything you say, we're going to pick up on it.
Until he slips one day and he says something outrageous. And he gets caught. I mean, he gets too comfortable in the role and says, and
we'll talk about Afi France. He said Pogba plays for France. You want to say Africa? I was like, bloody hell, man. All right, so guys, look, man. If you want to call in, I don't know what the number is, but the number is in the description box. But actually, let me actually find out what the hell this number is. So remember, if you want to call in, I didn't write that. Number is in the description box below.
I got it. 0203 997 7109.
So yeah, if you want to call, ask us any questions, feel free to call, and then we'll take in those questions very soon.
Super chat there.
All right. What's this
from? Who's this from? Crazy Zobs.
Okay.
Pepe or Bebe? Question mark. Iwobi is a better player than him. Iwobi's better than Pepe apparently.
Okay. Let's break this down. Now let me take my Nigerian bias out of this right now.
Wow.
Iwobi was useful. Iwobi is not an amazing player. He's a useful player who was never played in his strongest position, which is number 10 in the middle of the pitch. When I look at Pepe, in my view, I think that Pepe has better natural footballing ability than Iwobi. But natural footballing ability doesn't equate to effectiveness. Mm-hmm. So I think that for Iwobi was more effective for what Emery wanted to do, playing in his weaker position. So my thing is that who was better? Pepe, I think, is the better footballer. Let's see. For me, I can't answer the question because let's see how the season pans out.
Yeah.
Because who knows? Maybe Pepe will start getting assists, goals. It's been like what 3, 4, 4, 5 games.
And also, Pepe I don't think he's once played in his natural position where he played for Lille. We haven't played him there yet.
So what's his? Isn't it wide right?
Yeah, but we haven't played him there. He played through the middle against Watford, where we played this diamond thing.
No, but he was wide right in the last game and wide right against Liverpool.
Yeah, but against Tottenham.
Against Tottenham, he's wide right. Yeah, but again, he's been here for what? This is his 4th game.
Yeah.
So let's give him time. And out of those 4 games, I think he's played wide right. The combined amount probably got 100 something minutes.
I think. Do you know? I think against Liverpool, he showed his quality. Probably his best game so far against Liverpool.
Yeah, it was very good.
He ran at Robertson and he wasn't scared.
And Van Dijk,
he wasn't scared to. And I think Pepe is better than Iwobi, and he's going to get a lot better than Iwobi. And I think it's his potential which is the biggest thing for me. I can sit there and laugh at these tweets that people are talking about. And Pepe, I'll laugh at them because the potential that the man's got is the ceiling is so high that I'm not even worried about it. And yes, he's got footballing talents, and he's skillful, and he just needs to hone that in, and that will come. That will come with time.
Distribution needs to get better.
Yeah, no, his final third just needs that improvement there. But because he's banged 22 goals last year for Lille, I know that he's got that in the locker. Now Iwobi, I've never seen him score 22 goals in this season before, and maybe it was because he wasn't. Maybe it was because Arsenal was too big for him. Maybe he needs a Lille. Maybe he needs something like that. I mean, Everton.
Hey, man, what? Man's below the belt, man.
No, but you're telling me he needs to play his best position. He's gone to Everton where Sigurdsson's position got that locked in the bag. Like he's not touching that. He's gonna go and sit behind. If he's lucky, who gets in above Walcott? And I think I wish him the best of luck, but it's not a contest.
I like Theo.
Man, that's just this, man. So look back. Remember, guys, Colin. Let's just now Champions League week, man. Well, Champions League and
Europa League. Yes, thank you. Yeah,
sure.
Very important competition.
So for me, I've always been trying to find out who are these favourites for the Champions League. Who are the favourites for the Champions League? And I can't look at anyone beyond Liverpool. But my thing is that there are many different things. I still say Liverpool. I'll put them number 1. If Neymar can be fit for an entire season, you can't look past PSG. As much as I insult Neymar, the 2 times PSG have gone out in the critical game, Neymar hasn't played in those games that PSG have gone out.
He always needs to be with his sister at that time.
Okay, let's not get into incest, please.
I'm not saying incest. Who said that? Really? I said he likes to be at her birthday.
All right, come on. Zip. So basically, my thing is that do you think that there is a team to be feared any strong team? Because see, my thing is that Liverpool, I think that at Anfield they're going to be very strong. Barcelona, it's how far Messi takes them. Real Madrid is
don't know what's going on there, do you?
Can Hazard really do it? I don't really know. Bayern Munich, no. Juventus, I think they'll be far too much reliant on Cristiano. So who do you look at as Champions League? These are the dogs who can really be played like.
What else Chelsea for you?
Semis, I know semis.
Chelsea semis. No, I think for me it's Liverpool and Juve. I think Liverpool.
Juventus.
I think Liverpool are the team to beat. Anfield, no one no one wants to play it on a European night.
Yeah.
It's unfair that they get to play at Anfield on a European night. It's that much of an advantage.
Yeah.
But Juve have Ronaldo, and Ronaldo is Mr. Champions League. Do you know what I mean? It's
isn't this the year that he slows down?
No, even like Ronaldo is a beast. Like he's not human. If Ronaldo is on it, and at least 4 of his teammates say, right, well, let's actually turn up as well, Juventus will win. Do you know what I mean? It's like if he's on form, and at least 4 of them are also on form, they have a chance of beating anyone.
I don't think you could look past the Fraudiola. I think this in Europe. I think this is it. I think this is.
What makes you say this?
The same.
It makes me say it because the pressure is there for him to do it, and he's a man that likes to thrive under pressure. And I think.
Does he?
And I think.
That's not what his hairline's saying.
I think. Well, he was put like this. What he said in the press conference was that you lot thought I couldn't do it because I came in the first year and I flopped, and I came back and I got 100 points. So you told me I had to do it, and I did it, but I exceeded you because I did 100
Europe.
points.
What about Europe then?
No, I'm just saying. You said, "Can he thrive on the bench?" I said, "Well, he said I will," and he did it. I think Europe's obviously the big test, isn't it? It's can they do it over the course? I think the Laporte injury probably won't affect them because the group is so easy. So that should be fine. But he comes back in a crucial stage. He comes back when the business end, and if they can get that team running and the perfect, and that team is when he's on it. They can beat anyone in the world.
No, but don't you think that Pep has a weakness, especially with his management of these 2-legged games? Yeah. Because he has a very, very bad record away from home in Europe. So what gives you the kind of confidence that this is going to be the year that they do it when he's failed so many times? Like, he hasn't he's not been in a Champions League final since he's been with Barcelona.
Yeah. Oh, I'll just got one answer for you, and it's Prince Raheem. Prince Raheem is about to blow Europe out of the water this year. He's about to do it.
Top scorer in the Champions League this season?
Maybe not. Maybe not. But he's the one that's going to kick them up.
They can get a lot of goals in this group.
If Raheem, for me, I genuinely think if Raheem turns it on this year, especially with no Sane until to the crucial stages, Pep saying December, January. If we're talking then, Sane's back in problems.
That's if he's not sold in January.
If he's not sold, potentially. And maybe look. We're talking about him buying another defender. He could buy a world-class defender, and all of a sudden they're contenders again. But yeah, Raheem for me, Kevin De Bruyne, Sergio Aguero. Them 3 are on form in every game from now to the final.
Well, and also, so very briefly, don't just again, De Bruyne has never played in a major final before.
Yeah, I actually
how
time
is
is
he
now.
really?
The time is now. He's the best midfielder in the world. The time is now.
I think Man City lose the first game actually. I think they go into Ukraine and lose against Donetsk.
I would not look past that.
If they beat Norwich, I would say maybe. But I think the reaction now has got to be we can't lose this game. They can't lose it.
Like back to back L's would be too much.
Yeah, too much.
And also, the Donetsk keep on selling most of their best players all the time.
Yeah, but they've done that throughout, and they're always in the group stages. They're always hard to play against in Ukraine.
Oh, Zinchenko's got that, man. He knows that.
But I think if Dortmund, it's just that I'm not sure that Dortmund can make it out of the group. If Dortmund make it out of the group, I think Dortmund could surprise a lot of people and go really far. I don't know that they'll make it out of the group.
Well, who else is in this? Dortmund, Barcelona. And
it's Milan.
Backside. Wow, that's a tough group.
Yeah.
There's Dortmund Barca this week, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's going to be tasty.
That's
a tasty game.
The thing is, Dortmund, it depends what team turns up. Because last year against Spurs, was it Spurs that knocked them out? They were awful.
Yeah,
they got battered at Wembley.
Yeah.
And that was a case of Sancho's going to come, they got the squad now, it's time for them to step up, and they got rinsed.
But I think like with Brandt and Token Hazard in there and Hummels in defence, that will definitely those are 3 really great signings that they had. And for me, I just think
Hummels would have been great when they sold him. Now I'm not
I think his experience is more
experience.
But yeah, I do. I think Dortmund are one of those teams that depends which one of them turns up. On their day, they could trouble anyone.
They can beat
at the same time, they could do what we saw last season with Tottenham.
Okay, so let's look at Europa League now. So, do you
don't know?
Okay, no, that's good. So
proper competition.
If you were to say like the focus, should the focus be on let's try and win the Europa League or let's just maintain top 4?
It's always the same with the Europa League. Give your reserve players and youngsters some game time, some valuable experience in the group stage. because let's be honest, you should walk that. Although Frankfurt away is not an easy game.
That's a hard game.
Not an easy
That's
game.
a hard game.
How are we getting in, Europa League and get a harder group than some of these Champions League teams? It's liberties. But again, give the young players some time to play. Saka, Nelson, Chambers. I want to see them man playing against Frankfurt, and if they perform well, let them know they can play in the first team, because our first team ain't saying much. You know what I mean? So these guys should see this as an opportunity to really put down a marker. But yeah, you play the reserves in the group stages. Once you get to the knockouts, depending on who you get, you continue on that vein, or you think, right, I need to start playing the big boys because we're in the knockout. We might as well go and see how far we can get. And we've done semi-final and final in the last 2 years. So maybe this year we go that one step more.
Yeah, it's that one where you're not quite sure when to prioritise it, and with Arsenal, it just tends to be at some point we'll get to the stage and we start to prioritise it. It's just a matter of when.
What happened to that? What happened in that final? I mean, I know Zad happened in the final, but what happened? Because that was it. Favourites should have won.
No, well, for the first 25 minutes we were on top, and if Kolasinac had a decent final ball, we could have been 3-0 up.
Hazard weren't leaving that game without winning without a trophy. And that's the reality of it.
And then we capitulated.
And it was a time for Giroud to start and push forward, man.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
And the same could happen this year. The same could happen this year. Man United. End of the day, the big teams ain't gonna be. They're all gonna be there in the semi-final. Like Man United and Arsenal, unless they draw each other in the quarters, are probably going to be there in the semi-final.
But it depends who falls out from the Champions League.
Yeah.
But they said that last year, and Napoli, we battered them. We battered them. Valencia battered them. These, for me...
No, but I think a really big team is going to fail to qualify. Like, a really big team is going to... Like,
well, the group only going to look difficult is the Inter group.
If either Inter or Dortmund fall through...
We're being Inter, man. We're being Inter, man.
Hey,
we're being
Ramon,
Inter,
easy,
man.
chill.
Lukaku, don't worry, we got him. Sanchez, don't worry, we got him. But I don't think we'll win the Europa League again this year. I feel like we'll fall short. I said it at the start of the season, I think...
So who wins it then? Who wins Europa League?
United will win it.
Come, get out of here, man.
What?
But you know what? But the reason I'm saying, you're really looking at 3 games. Everyone will be there in the semi-final. So you're looking at who's actually going to step up in the 3 games. And Man United have this sense of sometimes they'll just step up to the plate.
But why are you so sure that United won't? FC Porto are in it. I think are Sevilla in this as well?
Porto are dead. Yeah. Come on, man. You're talking about winning the trophy, man. I don't care who's going to be there in the quarterfinal.
No, you have to respect FC. No, FC Porto, they screwed up in the qualifiers. So
they're screwed up in the qualifiers and the Champions League. Porto used to be a guaranteed Champions League team. Now you're telling me they're screwed up in the Champions League.
I think it does come down to who comes out of the Champions League. Because again, if you do get there's some tricky ties that come down. It could really ruin the vision that you have for the final. You could get through the groups, nice, and then you get through the next round, because I think it's seeded, isn't it? So if they come out of the Champions League and you finish top of your group, you're not going to get someone from.
Yeah.
So you get through that one, and then boom, next round you're playing at Inter Milan, or you're playing at Dortmund, or some crazy way Man City had dropped out of the groups or something like that. You know what I mean? Someone big's really PSG or something dropped out, and you're like, now you got PSG. Do you know what I mean?
Chelsea.
Well, so let me ask a question, because this is what I'm thinking. Was there ever what was the last really good Champions League final?
The one where Man United got smashed by Barcelona.
But that was just a smackdown.
No, I enjoyed that thoroughly.
no. But was there ever a good Champions League final like this is actually a good game to watch?
The last one. Bro, it was brilliant. I loved every single minute.
Because Tottenham lost.
Yes, it was amazing.
Basically,
I watched that again and again and again.
If you think about it, in lots of these Champions League, most of the really good games are really the semis, the quarters, or anything.
Yeah.
But hardly ever do you actually see a really good competitive final.
Actually, someone said here, Bayern Dortmund was good.
Yeah,
that wasn't that.
Was that the one at Wembley?
Yeah,
it was alright. It wasn't a great game.
Yeah, Robin.
Yeah. It wasn't a great game, but it was a either one could win it. But even the the Real Madrid Atletico when that went to penalties. It wasn't a great game, but either side could win it. Yeah, and either side could have nicked it. But we're not talking a 3-3 or a 4-3.
The last one was the AC Milan Liverpool. The last really good final where it was just drama.
What, when Liverpool lost?
No, the one before that.
Oh,
The one with Liverpool won. That was.
No, that was more dramatic.
I can't remember any that really had me thinking this is a great game of football.
No. It was just a very dramatic game, very eventful. But let me ask you this though: 2006, and the ref actually admitted it. So if the referee had given the goal to Barcelona, 11v11, what do you think happened?
Lie, man.
You know what? I've said this, and I said that I think we beat them because we were all over them at that stage. We were all over them.
Even if Henry missed a lot of those chances, Henry missed some big chances that game, man.
He did, but if we would have played with 11 men and continued, I'm pretty sure we'd have got more chances. Because even with 10, we still had we had the goal this time, isn't it? So Campbell. Do you know what I mean? So we still created with 10, but after a while, the way Barcelona play, you're going to get tired. You're a man light. I think if we had 11, I think we'd have went on to win that.
I don't know, man. The Barcelona team, if we're with Dino and Etu on that the way they were, I just feel like
Dino didn't have a great game.
It's Henrik Larsson.
Yeah, but 11v11, you're now calling for the stars to step up. You're not calling for the man to step up. With 11v10, you don't have to be at your best because you know at some point its chances are going to go. That's when you're thinking, okay, Dino, if 11v11 men are struggling, it's time for you to step up. I just feel like the quality's there in that squad for them to pull through. I feel like we got there through grit and hard work to get to that final. I think throughout the games leading up, we didn't blow teams away. It was just pure hard grit.
And Henry came up with some clutch plays.
Yeah, he did at the moment, and at the end of the day, we needed him to come up with a clutch to win that final, and it didn't happen. So
yeah, and then he gave that brilliant promo about how Barcelona cheats and corrupt and did all this stuff, and then he signed for them.
He held it for a year.
But let's just even go back to 2012 because I'm invoking the spirits of 2012 to guide Chelsea to the semis of the Champions League this year. Because again, I remember that for me, Bayern Munich completely and totally.
The worst team to win the Champions League final. The Champions League was 2012.
Come on,
the worst team.
Easy, man. Look at the worst team. But can we all agree that has to be the most? Okay, what was a more clutch goal, Drogba's or Sergio Ramos's?
Drogba's wasn't the winner. There was it. It was to go to penalties.
No, it was to go to extra time.
It was extra time.
So it was Ramos, wasn't it?
Extra time as well. It was more clutch.
It has to be Drogba because with you getting battered, and I don't know how. To this day, I had money on you lot winning the Champions League, but only because I thought Barca was going to get through, and I bet on that.
Oh yeah.
But to this day, I cannot understand how Bayern didn't win that game and Robin missed that penalty.
Was crazy.
And I just don't get it. And then I see the man of all occasions, Didier, just boom, and it's just. And from that moment, he was going to win it.
No, but and I think because the thing what made it worse was Bayern were playing in their home stadium as well.
Yeah,
to lose at your home stadium and have to get out to get the silver.
Exactly.
And that was a battering. That was an old school battering.
But yeah, no, because look, Chelsea they know that. Look, they were not playing a far better team now, which is why it just shows that Drogba, man, that guy, he came in clutch, man.
He did.
But do you think that we'll ever see a stage where we will see a team win 3 Champions Leagues in a row?
Again, well, I mean,
after
Madrid? Yeah, I mean, no one. I remember when they went for the second one, I was like, nah, never gonna happen. The third one, definitely not gonna happen. They wouldn't have done it, so I'm never gonna say never. You know what I mean? If it's been done before, it can be done again. Sure.
And for me, I think it's such a freak occurrence because winning like a league 3 times in a row, it happens because sometimes in the league you just have a very powerful team like Ferguson and look at what Juve and Bayern are doing. But when you're playing in a competition that is the best of the best, where everyone is like this every single season, first, the fact that nobody had ever defended just shows you because it's so hard because you're playing all the best teams in Europe. So to defend it again, I don't think what team do you think can win it 3 times in a row from now? As good as Liverpool are, I don't think they can win 3 in a row.
But it also comes down to luck, isn't it? Because it's a knockout competition as well. So it's against the luck of the draw.
And skill, because
obviously
2017, 2018, Real Madrid played some top teams.
But there's also got to be an element of luck in any knockout competition. There's got to be an element of luck, whether it's a decision that goes your way or you get drawn an easier route and all the big teams play each other. So by the time you get to the semi-finals, you're playing against what was supposedly back in the day an easy semi-final, Deportivo. That's what happens there where AC Milan got battered. But it is partly luck, But again, you just have to have the mentality.
But do you know what it is? You have to, and I think you have to now look back at that Real Madrid team and say, they were one of the greatest teams of our generation. When you think about the fact that they did it over and over again, we talk about the Galacticos that should have done that. That should have been them in terms of the names. But when you look back and you think you need a squad that has to be brilliant from start to end, and you had people like Ramos at the back, and you had people like Ronaldo up top, and then you have the Modric's and the Cruises in the middle that would just build it to piece it together. We're waiting to see a complete team like that. And for me, Man City were like, if Man City did it 3 times in a row, you could see, oh, you know what, it was them. But until we have a team that can actually do it, like Man City, we know can't do it. They can end up bottling it. But if we need a great team to just appear, just come out and just be like, this is now the team to beat. I don't think Liverpool have put a marker down as much as say is we are the greatest team, because their squad, for me, their squad depth just lacks a bit. If they had maybe a bigger squad depth, we could be generally saying Liverpool could win the Champions League.
No, but then you said, but that for that Real Madrid team, it was really that first 11. It wasn't really a deep squad. You had guys like Nacho and these dudes coming off the bench. Just that luckily they didn't have any key injuries, and that first 11 was just so damn flipping good.
Yeah,
which is why I just
I heard it.
and that's why I just think, like, when people say, okay, who was better, that Real Madrid team or the Barcelona Xavi Iniesta team? Because as dominant as those guys were, you never defended your Champions League title. So you were, because they were fully dominant, but you never won it twice in a row. Whereas these guys won it 3 times in a row. So that's why it would be so interesting to see that Real Madrid team at their height, at their peak, against that peak Barcelona team. It would be very interesting, because that Real Madrid, it was almost like the perfect storm of everything they had. The right defenders, the right synergy, the right team, the right counter-attack and everything.
But the Barcelona team, and actually looking at about 2 or 3 individual years with Barcelona, where that team in that year could probably have beaten one of the 3 teams of Real Madrid. But as you said, it was that team with Neymar, Suarez, Messi. It was maybe that team, the one before that, with Messi the first time. It was like, but it wasn't the consistent basis. And maybe if Neymar had stayed in that Barcelona team and they built up the squad together, it could have been. But the problem you got with Barcelona is that there's so many coming and going that every year someone big is going to leave, someone big is going to come in, and so they don't have that squad to consistently stick together and push through. Like Real Madrid just had. Ronaldo weren't going anywhere, Ramos weren't going anywhere. That squad was staying together to do it all.
So basically, just to like round off, just last thing before we go. Let's just paint a scenario. I don't think this will happen, because I believe these guys are a bunch of losers and perennial like just bricks. Let us, just for argument's sake, if based upon the boos, how much he's been hated, how he tried to leave, so it's not a crime to leave a club. I don't know how that's a crime. Look, it's club football. There's no law in club football. So if, let's say, just paint a scenario where somehow, some way, Neymar does deliver the Champions League for PSG this season, so Ibrahimovic, so all those years he failed to do it, where would that now put Neymar amongst the pantheon of players of his generation?
And Mbappe, by the way.
And Mbappe, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Come on, and maybe even Icardi. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, but
and Cavani.
No. But in terms of, so you mean where does he sit amongst the Ronaldos and the Messis and stuff?
If he's able to guide PSG to a Champions League, guys who people have said these guys are losers, they can never do it. If he drags them as an individual and inspires them to,
well, he sits behind Ronaldo and Messi.
Behind,
of course. Of course, no one touches Ronaldo and Messi. No.
Well, are you saying currently, or are you saying looking back?
No. As in
currently.
No. In terms of an achievement, because for me, wouldn't you say that Neymar coming to PSG, a team full of stars that nobody thinks will win, if he comes, inspires them to a Champions League, wouldn't you say that is a greater achievement than what Messi done for Barcelona and what Cristiano has done for Real Madrid and Man United?
No. No, what are you talking about?
Why not?
Okay, firstly, when Neymar bangs 91 goals in a calendar year, then
don't be a stats merchant, man.
But stats, bro, 91 goals in a year. Okay, so alright, so tell me now, it's 0-0. Neymar scores the winner 1-0. Are you not going to celebrate that? That goal's a stat. Statistically, he scored one more goal than anyone else on the pitch. Statistically, PSG won that game 1-0. Statistically, that got them 3 points.
But that's
then
a
these
crucial
are- do you know
goal.
what I mean?
It's not how many you score. It's a
But
20
it's a
score.
stat, bro.
I'd rather have a guy score 5 crucial goals than 100 irrelevant goals.
91 goals, and you're telling me they're all irrelevant?
Okay, not all of them, but it's like.
What are you talking about, bro?
No, but my thing though is it's what is a greater achievement. PSG are the biggest laughing stock of Europe. Everyone says these guys are never winning the Champions League. If upon everything, the fans booing you, they want you out. Neymar somehow leads them.
Do you think Neymar gives a damn about being booed by anyone?
Oh no, he doesn't. He doesn't.
So
no,
why is it a big achievement?
No. It's part of the narrative. It's a nice story. Like, imagine, look, it's like Hollywood. Imagine like a story.
Firstly, is it really that big an achievement if after how many years have they been there, the Qataris? 6 years? 7 years?
Yeah.
After 6, they finally managed to do what they set out to do in 1 year?
That's the thing for
No,
me.
it's not that big an achievement. This is what you should have done 4 years ago.
Yeah, that's the thing for me. I think if Neymar did it in his first year, it would have been mad. Because you said you left Barcelona to the Champions League and you won it. But you had to stay 3 years for him to bring Mbappe into his full, to bring Icardi in. You know what I mean? Like, and they've got some good players in that squad. You know what I mean? If that squad plays to their full potential, there's no reason why they can't be challenging for a Champions League. Problem is, they never play to their full potential because one's injured, or when they do play well, they bottle it, like against Barcelona, and you had the game in your hands. And
No, don't ever bring that back. No. That's messed up.
It was Emery, but it was PSG. And I'm not surprised because it was PSG, because this is what happens. This is what they do.
He did that. Let's hire him as our manager.
But it happens to all the managers. They bottled it against Man United. They bottled it. Do you know what I mean? So it happens. It doesn't matter who's in charge.
How can you bottle so consistently as a club?
Exactly. And so, but now the squad, now they've brought in someone like Icardi, who can maybe do what the Cavani maybe didn't do, and just give them that extra front three as a prowess going forward in the Champions League. Then you say, all right, Neymar, well done, you won Champions League because you got Icardi now, because you got Mbappe at his full potential, because you got Verratti playing so well behind you. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you did it finally, well done. Now what are you gonna do? But for me now, it's like, for me he needs it to then say, who wants me now? How much you want to pay me?
All right, so guys, send in questions, man. Last 5 minutes, send in questions, man. Wait.
I'm feeling these are going to be good.
Oh, God. Send in. Japan, send in. If you see any interesting questions, we'll go through the same.
So the first question.
Wait. No, Japan, wait. If it's anything to do, if it's anything to do with my hair, I'm not even.
It says
not your hair.
HH, please can you induct your feet?
Can you ask a football question, please? Please, can you please send in football questions? Any questions about my hair, my appearance, or anything will not be read.
Those feet need an induction.
Yeah, please. Yeah, so
footballing
Your
questions,
feet
please.
are world
yeah,
class.
football.
Now this is just gonna get better.
Hashtag lotion.
No, all right, let's get on.
But yeah, we move.
Wow.
Why is Neeks not here? Is he scared of it getting exposed?
Yeah, I feel like Neeks is on holiday. This was planned. It wasn't like he saw Tammy Abraham bang a hat trick and thought, boy, I'm out of the country.
No, yeah, he
gone,
did.
fire him.
I don't, Tammy.
Yeah, you know what? Tammy Abraham is looking good. He's, banged 2 against Norwich, 2 against Sheffield United, 3 against Wolves. All of those teams were championship teams not long ago. I'm just saying.
I said Wolves not long ago.
I'm just saying.
Wolves are a Premier League team.
No, but Wolves also haven't won a game all season. Then.
Oh,
Bro, man, Dev, man, that's
no. Listen.
Dev, that's low. Give the man his credit. He's won against it's top 6.
Burnley finished 6th.
When did we finish last season?
Burnley finished, where is it? 7th.
Yeah.
The season before. The Europa League relegation battle. Yeah? Wolves finished 7th. Europa League, haven't won a game yet all season. The season starts in June. Do you know how mad that is? They've been playing competitive football since the end of June. Everyone else has been playing competitive football since August. And you're telling me that doesn't take a toll? Nuno Espirito Santo does not rotate his team. He changes 3 players max. These men are dead already. It's August. September now. They're dead.
For me, he's got 7 goals in 5 games, innit? And that's the reality of it. And you have to look at, the teams are dead, but he's only going to get more confident from it. And if he manages to bang a goal against Liverpool,
Yeah, then we're talking.
Then boy, I mean, he's already 3 goals behind Rashford's best ever Premier League season. So
That's insane.
And 4 behind Martial's, by the way.
That's insane.
mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, the call's on.
What do you want? What do you want? What do you want?
Hamza!
No. Drop it. No.
That's the end of the call.
Actually, Hamza, if you're gonna say anything about my hairline, then I have the power to drop your call. So are you gonna ask something related to football?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask something serious.
What?
I'm gonna ask something serious.
What's that? Say again?
I'm gonna ask something serious.
Okay, something serious. Okay, yeah, go on.
Yeah, why is Henri in Have Hope and Mouth so much?
Say again?
Why is Henri and Have Hope's mouth so much?
Henri? Why, you been talking about Thierry Henry?
What do you mean? So okay. Oh, but wait. Why do I hate Henri? Was it?
Why is his name in your mouth so much?
Henri, we have to talk about Henri's failure at the biggest moments. I still feel that Henri is the best player in the Premier League, but he flopped in the biggest moments. Biggest games, he flopped. Was that?
He's the best Premier League player you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Best player in the Premier League, yes, but he flopped in big games.
Only better than Drogba. Don't compare him to Drogba ever again. Please.
Yeah, don't compare him to Drogba ever again, he said.
Oh, so,
One more question.
no. First of all, no. Henri is a better player than Drogba, but Drogba is more clutch than Henri. If I want a final, I pick Drogba. If I want a season, I pick Henri.
Can't argue.
I have one question though, just a serious one as well.
Ask the damn question, man.
Where's your hairline?
But you know, the weird thing about that loser, now it doesn't work because I've got hair now.
Yeah. You're looking slick.
Yeah, it's got hair now. First of all, okay, let's just say I didn't have hair, which I do. But let's just say I didn't have hair. Is there anything bad about? Let's just okay. I know this is like a football talk about. Is there anything bad about being bald?
No, you gotta own it though.
Yeah, you
You
got
gotta own it.
You gotta
own it. Own it.
Yeah, and also bald is actually is a much more slicker look. So
Tyrese is bald.
yeah, I'd rather Vin Diesel is bald. The Rock is bald. I'd actually rather be bald than actually have an afro because an afro is like look. Tell your boy Knicks, man. Like that thing is like that's from the 80s and 90s, man. So look, my last few minutes, guys.
Neeks isn't here because HH is scared of getting baptized.
Why are you running off the show?
No. Look, Knicks even said to me that like, yo, HH man, yeah, you really got me there. Like I've actually like, this is unfair. Trust me. So Knicks actually said that, look, HH like next time, like, can you just not expose me like that? That's cool. So he said to me in private that, look, man, yeah, like HH, I never knew that you actually really that quick and so quick-witted and so smart on air. It's like, yeah. Man, I know it is, man. So it is what. Look, I do what I do, man. I do what I do. I write how I write, man. So. But look, as I said again, look, people keep insulting me about this whole Chelsea Champions League semis thing. But Ramon, my thing is about this: what if it happens? Like, what would it? Because if it happens, then everyone's screwed. What if Hazard has an amazing? Chris or Hazard at the end of the Champions League. What if Hazard does something crazy in the? Because Hazard is tier 1. Hazard is the 3rd best player in the world.
He's not.
And that's the end of the show tonight, guys.
He's not. He's not.
Thanks for tuning in.
What is that? No.
Thanks for tuning in.
No. Hazard is, come on. It's Messi,
Ronaldo,
Neymar.
But you just said
Hazard.
Neymar was rubbish last week.
Yeah.
How did
I thought it was
Neymar
And then
jump?
Van Dijk, and then Van
How
Dijk
did
is his
Neymar
fault.
jump? The other week you were saying, and the week
No.
before he was rubbish.
Taking
Now all of a sudden.
No. Taking everything into account.
You should wear flip-flops.
Yeah, no. Yeah, easy. Taking everything into account, it's like, look.
Ooh, we got a super chat.
Wait, what is it so much as?
I'll let one of you guys read out.
Oh,
Let me have a look here. Where we go? Alright. Dean Classic says, do you think Liverpool and their fans, i.e. Drifty and co, need a slice of humble pie? Their recent arrogance after last season's win has turned me off. You know what's funny? The thing about Drifty, all of last season, they were gunning him for being so negative. Now, he's positive and he's arrogant.
wow.
You know what I mean? All of last season, it was gunning him. People are, oh, you're just negative all the time.
Yeah, you have to choose a point.
Now, He's confident, saying, "Yeah, we're gonna whoop this team. We're gonna beat Chelsea," and now he's arrogant.
But the thing
what
is,
do you want?
they have to be positive now. They're
You have to be.
They're 5 points clear in the league.
And they're looking the team's looking very
They're looking
good.
good.
You have to be positive.
And you have to give it. You have to say to them, "It's your title to lose, bro."
Yeah.
No Laporte in Man City squad. Your team is on firing on full cylinders. Don't come crying and say we never put ourselves up there. You put yourself up there when you won the Champions League.
Yeah.
When you won the Champions League, you made yourself saying we should be favourites for the Premier League.
And you finish only 1 point behind, going in second.
That means exactly, you finish 1 point behind and you win the Champions
But
League.
no.
You should now be challenging.
You see, my thing is that I still believe, because I can't flip-flops.
But you do every week. But
No, I don't.
But we move.
Javan, can you please engineer in the back?
I am engineering from the back to the front.
I've got one here as well. I just want to say this one here. Jason Ping says, "Bring back Hope Meets Banner, a tier 1 show." Wow.
Look,
to you, Copish.
Look. That's a whole long story. But look, my thing is this: is that look, I think that Man City are still going to win this league. So I have to still stick with that. But as much as I say that Laporte injury does have me wondering. But you know what? I'm still going to stick with it until Liverpool prove to me that you can win under pressure now.
Yeah.
Then I don't know, because now you now have 5 points clear. You now have a little bit of daylight now. What if you happens 7 points, 8 points, and now it's those critical games where, man, if you win this, you can extend the points. It is those games. If you can win those games, then I can also. Until then,
exactly. You know what? They have to do what Chelsea done under Conte, which is
keep winning.
Yeah, and now you've got that. When Conte had that little gap, he just blew. And by December, no one was catching them. They were gone.
Yeah.
And now Man City's owners, they can't lose another game now.
Yeah.
They have to now win the next 10, 12 games.
Yeah.
And now Liverpool, if they keep winning and that get the Chelsea game already is going to be a big game away from home, they have to now show them that, yeah, we're here in a big game away from home. And as I said, they now have no excuses now. There's no excuses now. They bottled the lead already last year. You have to now take it.
So that's for me. Is that, and like I think one or two is done. Just say, see, third and fourth, man, bro. Because basically, someone asked me a question on my podcast that can Leicester City make top 4? I said Leicester City can make top 4. They won't make top 4.
Yeah.
But my thing about it is that third and fourth is really up for grabs. Arsenal, United, and even Chelsea, they are so inconsistent.
And Tottenham.
Even Tottenham, these guys are so untrustworthy that if Leicester think you can just really get some results together, you can actually push the guys. Like, I don't know what's third and fourth is going to be.
The best suited team to break, and only because of Vardy. Jamie Vardy bangs. Under Rodgers, he's been banging goals at a ridiculous rate against everybody. It doesn't matter if it's like top 6, bumps it. If Vardy is on it, he bangs goals.
But for me, it's not enough. Vardy is not enough to get him in top 4.
Yeah, no.
Not top 4. Not top 4. No.
Top 6.
Top 6.
Oh yeah, no, top 6.
They ain't getting in top 4, but they can bridge that gap between the top 6 and maybe break in there, and then start looking towards top 4. Do you know what I mean?
All right, guys. That is all it's for here on the footballing dugout.
Oh wait, no.
We got super chat from George Lyle. Since when does the table before 10 games mean anything? I mean, 5 points is a big gap at this stage.
No. He's right. It's way too early.
I mean, it's early, but it's a massive advantage.
No, it's not.
The reason,
5 games?
I tell you why it's important.
It's just too early.
I tell you why it's important. Because of the level that Man City, Liverpool set themselves last year, to say that in the last 10 games, it was you can't even drop 1 point.
Yeah.
That's how much the bar set. We're talking about 199, 98 points in the Premier League. If it was another random season, we'd say, right, 5 points clear, don't worry, we'll see you in November, see what you say. But now, we're talking about Liverpool and Man City not even dropping any points. So now it's a case of, if Liverpool now all of a sudden start to drop points, and Man City catch them, then it's now becoming a fight.
But see, my thing about this is that this now goes into like football psychology now. If let's say they were on level points or it was only 1 point, yeah, they'll keep on winning. I think that because of 5 points gap, Liverpool will now be sweating. Let's see what happens against Chelsea. Because right now Liverpool are like, oh my gosh. Because see, if Liverpool beats Chelsea, boom. Like when next do they now face a top 6 side team? Because I think Liverpool right now, they'll now realize, oh my gosh, we now have this lead again, this early.
Yeah.
Will that pressure now start to creep in? Hence why I say, bro, it's too early to even call this
it's
like
early
an
to call,
advantage.
but it's
But
not
it
too
does-
early to really think about the
advantage.
the advantage. Yeah. And in February, March time, we're gonna look back and say, Pep lost this against Norwich. Or we're gonna say the Norwich result push Pep on. We're gonna, because it's so. Last year Liverpool lost one game, Man City lost two. So we're always going to be looking at the games that are lost because they were so huge. The draws are probably important, but the losses, we're going to be analysing them. We're going to be still analysing this Norwich result in December. We're still looking at it because it's these teams don't lose games. And that's the thing, in the early 2000s when man were winning the points at 70, 80 points, and all that, it doesn't matter. But now it's every point is crucial.
That's actually a crazy point because now it's like you lose one game and you don't find it like 5, but that's crazy. So it's like, because you could lose a game, it's like, okay, that's fine, but now like literally the standards are so, as I said, one loss and 2 losses. Like City, what's it called? 100 points, 98 points.
Yeah.
It's
looking thin margins, and that's the only reason why you have to be saying this about the points thing. Now, it might be a case of City lose 3 and Liverpool lose 4 this season because they can't keep up. But as we know so far, they've only lost 1 last year and 2 last year, so that's the standard that we're judging it on. We have to judge it on the season
ridiculous,
before.
man.
No,
It's mad. It's mad.
Done.
guys, that is all it for the football. Are there any more super chats? Last thing with super chats? Jeez, man, please.
Well, good. You can.
Yeah. So, and also, I will say, by the way, don't call me LL. Call me HH. That's actually my real name. So please, okay, find out. Guys, thank you very much for joining us in here. Thank you. Ramon, we are so glad to have you. Hopefully you can be here again for your lovely knowledge.
When Nick runs away again, just call me.
Yeah, no, man.
Time I behind bags and I've had to.
Guys, smash that like button, hit that like button. Remember to follow us on our Twitter handles and so forth and everything. And we shall see you guys again next Monday. Peace out, stay true. Chelsea, Champions League semis. Peace.
Man City.
Boo.